Welcome to 28.5 Women's Basketball, where we explore a unique and authentic perspective on the women's game, break down upcoming matchups, and discuss the latest news and trends in women's basketball. We are your hosts. I'm Sydney Story, and I played basketball at the University of Tennessee under Pat Summitt.
And I'm Becca Goodman, and I played at the University of Notre Dame under Muffet McGraw. And we're thrilled to have you join us today. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoy what you hear, be sure to tune in each week and don't forget to follow, download, and listen to give an assist and share the love. Now let's get started with today's episode. Hey, Sid, how's it going?
Hey, Becca, how are you?
I'm good. Whew. I am recovering from the craziest weekend of amazing basketball games ever.
It was back-to-back weeks of just great basketball. I love it. And honestly, the perfect time of year for it. Like where we live, we have so much snow right now. We're what, like 45 minutes apart? 50 minutes?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we've got like a foot of snow. I'm kind of chuckling. I was talking with my husband. We're like, we probably are going to have the snow for the rest of winter because if you look at the forecast, like it's just supposed to stay so cold. Mm-hmm. Like the snow's never going to melt.
Never, ever. And we didn't get all of our outdoor Christmas lights up, so I'm upset. But it's going to have to be what it is. I'm just going to have to throw down more inside, right?
There you go. I think that's going to happen for a lot of people for sure. I was also talking about that with my husband because we didn't put up a ton either. And looking around at our neighbors, I don't think they had yet either. So it's like that thing where it's going to get skipped this year, yeah. I think.
It's just one of those years. Well, I think we should dive in because we have a lot to chat about and we want to make this as efficient as possible. So the first quarter, we're going to talk about and highlight some ACC versus SEC Women's Challenge basketball games. We had some good ones there Wednesday, Thursday night. And then our second quarter is just going to be some NCAA women's top scorers heading into December. We also just have some like news and noteworthy stats and fun facts that we're going to throw in there too. And then our third quarter, we're going to talk about Vandy's Mikayla Blakes. She reached her 1,000 career points, a pretty amazing achievement. Fourth quarter, we're jumping into our upcoming matchups. And then I see there's a quick question for me at the end. Oh, I can only imagine what that's going to be, Sid. What do you have on tap?
It's super high level, but I'm looking forward to your answer. So it'll be good.
It. Perfect. All right, so let's get started. We'll talk about Wednesday's game. Number 9, Oklahoma beat number 25, NC State in overtime by a score of 103-98. This game, to me, was Final Four caliber. It was bucket after bucket after bucket. I could keep going, but that's enough, right? I found it was a complete game from both teams. NC State had 4 players in double figures, Trigger with 18, Pierre with 19, Brooks with 25, Jones 26. Oklahoma also had 4 players in double figures, Van with 12, Williams and Reagan Beers each with 21. And let's talk about the freshman, Aaliyah Chavez. 33 points as a freshman in this big-time game. Not only that, going 13 for 26 from the floor, 50% from the floor. The craziest part about this that I think, Sid, not only was this a back-and-forth thriller, without getting into like crazy details about the game, because y'all, it was just that good. You should go watch it, even on repeat. I find it crazy that NC State out-rebounded Oklahoma 57-48 because, you know, with Reagan Beers on the floor, that's kind of the go-to. They also have a lot of other talent and bigger guards that come in and board. So I thought that was a crazy stat to have where Oklahoma was actually out-rebounded by NC State. But that just goes to show you, like, we've focused on NC State's guard play, but I really think Pierre is holding it down for them inside in a way that's maybe not as the normal pound bang inside post player like a Reagan Beers, right? She's a little more versatile, but she's just got a head for the ball. She's going to go find it. She's going to go get it. And some players just have that, and that's a skill that you can't always teach. What do you think about that game, Sid?
First of all, I do think NC State is a good team, right? They've fallen back in the top 25 quite a bit here, but they've played so many good teams, and we've talked a lot about that. And playing number 9 Oklahoma at Oklahoma, tough place to play, and I just think NC State is a good team. Like they're gonna, I really think they're gonna claw back and move up the rankings over time here this season, especially because I think they're gonna do well in the ACC. So that's gonna be interesting to watch. But overall, the biggest takeaway for me, and yes, you mentioned it, buckets after buckets, great game, Final Four caliber. When I step back and think about this game, it is the future of our game.
Mm-hmm.
And I really was super excited to see Chavez play. I hadn't seen her play yet. She's been talked about. Obviously, her high school career was insane. She scored more than 5,000 points as a high school player, which is just,
whew, that's crazy.
I know. Like, what did she average 50 points a game? Like,
I mean, must have, man.
Yeah. So crazy to think about it. And this girl is flat out a scorer. Watching the game from the beginning, she was forcing a lot of shots and she was coming down and she was the only one shooting the ball.
Yeah.
And at first I'm like, man, I don't know if I could have been this girl's teammate, right? You ever been on the court with somebody who's just almost like a ball hog type thing?
Yes.
And at first I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like this player. Like she was forcing a lot of stuff and not really involving her team. But really as the game went on, she was passing the ball more. I thought her shot selection was a lot better. She's a freshman, right? She's used to going out there and scoring 50 a game. And so I think it's an adjustment for her, but she 100% has the green light and you can tell to shoot whenever she wants. So I'm hoping that as time goes on here and she matures a little bit, she's going to get Beers more involved. She's going to get the rest of the players more involved, but she's a huge future contender for a lot of awards. We're going to be seeing her name a ton with how she does score. I'm not knocking her ability at all. Like this girl's good. She just naturally looks good out there on the floor. She moves well. Her defense wasn't bad. I didn't think. She had 33 points, right? Shot the ball 26 times. Yeah. So it's like watching the Caitlin Clark, but doesn't have the flair of the sidestep, step back three where we're all like, whoa, that's like unprecedented, amazing. But I was excited to see it because I think it's really good for our game right now when we have some of these women that are just kind of next level, are that star status. And if she continues to score like this, she 100% will be.
Yeah, I think this is a high risk, high reward type player. And when you have those on your team, a lot of times the coaches, as you mentioned, they have the green light because eventually once they see one go in and they get hot, it's just a matter of time, right? So Chavez, she started off the game with 11 points in the first quarter alone. And then she, when NC State, they ended up getting up by 10 midway through the third. Chavez came back and started just straight attacking the basket with 8 straight points, and that's when Oklahoma took their lead back. So she's definitely somebody who likes to see the ball go in the hoop, and she's going to make it go in. I just think, again, just highlighting that forceness, something to watch out for. But I will say, last game, the game before, Chavez had 29 against Florida State. So she's definitely somebody to keep an eye on, just not only point total, but the success of Oklahoma will, I think, ebb and flow with her.
I agree. It's interesting to me, like how Oklahoma got Chavez. She didn't go to a South Carolina or a UConn or even an LSU where we see a lot of these stars go. So it's a really good get for Oklahoma.
I agree.
Okay, let's jump into the second one we wanted to highlight here. And that is number 14, Tennessee beat Stanford in a close one, 65-62. And I was super excited to see Tennessee looking like we were playing our game, Kim Caldwell style again, because we really didn't look like ourselves the first few games. I didn't think, where we were really up in people's grills and forcing a lot of turnovers and playing fast pace, high speed. We kind of fell back into some of the other teams that we were playing, some of their speed. So to see them come back against Stanford and force 30 turnovers was just, I think, telling that maybe we're a little bit back in our style. And this game's at Stanford. And I was chuckling watching this one again, third time I've mentioned him, talking to my husband, because I remember playing at Stanford as a player and vividly remember one of the fans turning to us, and we were in our warm-ups about to take the court, standing there. And she's like, man, you guys look like a bunch of giant Cheetos. I just thought it was so funny and I looked down and like, we're in our bright orange tops, like full, back then there was like a hood and like full arms and like full rip away legs. And I'm just like, oh my God, we do look like giant Cheetos. And it just like how much the orange clashes in there. So I was glad to see that we were wearing our baby blue in this game because it looks so bad in the Stanford gym when it's like that dark cardinal red, and then here comes Tennessee in their orange. So shout out to the baby blue uniforms, and shout out to Kim Caldwell and the Lady Vols looking pretty good against Stanford in that win.
Yeah, I was shocked that even Stanford kind of looked decent. You know what I mean? Like I just think coming up in our discussion, we'll have a couple more teams we're highlighting this way. It just seems like certain teams, and again, if you play a UConn, it's maybe harder to show out or stand out, but you can take that film, learn from it, and get better. And I, without a doubt, think a lot of these teams are doing that. And the amount of change that they're able to just flip-flop and get better within a matter of a week it's pretty insane. And I think we have a lot of those. We've talked about, Notre Dame's loss to Michigan and then beating USC. I think this type of situation will only help Stanford, where they especially might have not really been on the map, as we've talked about many times. That is a established program, nothing but the best and exceptional just overall IQ over there. But again, it was really great to see Tennessee just continue to wear them down, withstand their runs, and then finish the game up with the W.
Yes, we're going to need to do that. We've got a tough SEC conference coming up here. We're going to have to really bring it. I'm a little bit nervous about some of the SEC play and how good the SEC is right now. So,
all right, jumping to Thursday, December 4th's game, where we're going to talk a little bit about the number 2 South Carolina and the fact that they beat number 23 Louisville. Now, Sid, let's be fair. Thursday had a lot of games going on, 4 of them to be exact, and 2 were at the same time. So what do Sid and I do? We divide and conquer. We like to even it up a bit, where there's there's maybe a game that's not as intense, and then maybe the next game's a big matchup, right? You just kind of play it by ear, right, Sid? We're just trying to make sure we get all the basketball powers that be able to watch games so we can report back. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we did. And then South Carolina had to play it close to Louisville, didn't they?
I'm just telling you, y'all, South Carolina beat Louisville 79-77. Now, I'm not going to go into crazy detail. I'm just going to say Louisville was a different team, Sid. Again, I'm talking about the whole bounce back factor. We've talked about Louisville kind of maybe falling off, not knowing their identity, still trying to figure one another out and what they want to represent and who they want to go after. When would you ever think this season, and I know we're only in December, when would you ever think I'd say there were 4 Louisville players in double figures against South Carolina?
It speaks to the old school additives of you can't take nights off. You have to prepare to play against their best. And we know Louisville has the athletes. Mm-hmm. Right? They get good recruits. It's a good program. And so if they can put that all together, they should be able to hang with some of the best. And I think if I'm a coach right now and you're playing in these tough non-conference matchups heading into conference play, you just can't take anyone lightly. I think women's basketball is gotten really, really good, in particular the last 4 or 5 years, that the parity is there. And if you're not bringing it every night, you could get upset. And I think South Carolina really needed to bounce back after losing in Vegas and not winning against Texas. And I think, I don't know. I didn't watch this one, right? We divided and conquered, but I was thinking South Carolina was going to bounce back and absolutely destroy Louisville, but shout out Louisville here. I think this is huge. I don't know, moral victory. I'm not a huge fan of that, but they played them close.
And this was at the KFC Yum Center, which is where Louisville plays their games. Crowd was rowdy. It was rocking. I'm talking this felt like, every time Louisville scored a bucket, fans were up on their feet, swinging towels. It was crazy. And when you're playing South Carolina, that's the energy and effort and intensity you have to have in order for your team to even feel like they're in it, right? So the people on the court absolutely feed off that energy in the stands. So shout out to that crowd, because I just want to mention, Sid, did you ever think I would be saying Latson, right, our transfer to South Carolina, was the only starter for South Carolina not in double figures?
Never, because that girl was the leading scorer in the nation last year. Mm-hmm. And so we've talked about this, how are they utilizing Latson? How do they get her going? That's a troubling one. I think it's at some point it's going to happen. She's going to get in her groove, and South Carolina, they're going to be just fine. Latson's going to be just fine. Right. I think that is a really interesting one. You mentioned the Yum Center Fun fact, I played in the very first game at the Yum Center
Really?
in Louisville. Yeah, when they moved over to the brand new arena, which was pretty cool.
Isn't it crazy how like behind the basket, it just is like long and extended and up instead of like normal stadiums, it just kind of goes up. I always felt like when you're shooting at that basket, you have to like really get some shots up because it can mess with you because the backboard, you can see the crowd through it and the depth is off. It's weird.
For sure, without a doubt. It's like a weird shooter's gym. And
yeah,
I remember vividly, this was before it was a normal thing that you could drink alcohol during college sporting events. And the Yum Center is off campus. So even back then, when it first opened, there were people like having drinks in the stands and there was like advertisements for alcohol. And I'm thinking to myself, this is so weird, and now it's just the standard, right? But back then it was kind of crazy. Okay, let's jump into the next one here that we wanted to highlight from Thursday. And this was Texas. They beat North Carolina 79-64. And I will say, North Carolina, they started the game not bad, right? They were hanging with them. They got off to a pretty good start, but how do you contain Texas right now? They are so strong on both ends of the floor. And we've talked about that offensively, defensively. They play so well together. They're well-rounded in their personnel. Like, Texas is the real deal to me right now. And they've won 9 straight. I just think that we are going to be hearing a lot about Texas. I think Texas potentially is going to win the SEC this year. We'll see if South Carolina can win it out. We'll see. Between Texas and South Carolina and LSU, like, these teams really are in a league of their own right now in the SEC. So that's going to be interesting. But Texas really is, I think, one of the best in the country. I also think that when we talk about personnel, Lee had a really good game. She played phenomenal. The second half, she was, I think, just backbreaking for North Carolina. Oldacre had 16 points. I think it was, gosh, don't quote me on this, but she had 12 at half. Like, she really came out, was more aggressive. And that's what they need. Like, Oldacre, if she's grabbing rebounds and scoring buckets and banging down there, she's that big body that's really tough to defend. And she looked more aggressive in the game. And I just want to give her a shout out because I thought she played really well. She had 7 rebounds also. I just think overall for Texas, like, they for sure, I know UConn's out there, but if they're not in the national championship, something happened, right? They didn't get better throughout the season because right now they're like championship ready to me. Yeah. It's kind of cool to watch. And they forced 20 turnovers. North Carolina had 20 turnovers. You're not going to win very many games when you have 20 turnovers. They scored 24 points off those turnovers. Texas only had 8 turnovers. Like, they're taking care of the ball. And I talked about it last episode. I just love their offensive strategy, how disciplined they are, how Vic Schaefer uses his personnel in their offenses. I really think scouting Texas right now has got to be awful because of the personnel they have. Booker is amazing to watch. During the game, she got compared to Tamika Catchings, which is like just a huge compliment for a women's basketball player. Like, I just think they're so solid right now. And Vic Schaefer, he uses that talent. The offenses, I think you come down from possession to possession to possession. They're running different things, different actions, different looks. He knows when to go back to certain looks. He's just, I think, shining as a coach. And he has for years, right? He's been a very good coach. He's made Final Fours and won a national championship and done all of that. But like, he's shining right now as a coach. And his strategy, and those girls are taking advantage of everything he's given them, all the tools he's given them, and they're just going to work. I think they're really good. So If you're looking to watch a good basketball team right now, Texas is that team.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the balance they have so early in the season, they're going to be scary good once they hone that craft in, have a full preseason, actual season, and then we're in tournament time. I'm a little nervous for how good they're going to be. And that's what makes all this so exciting because say them and UConn meet at some point in time. I think it's going to be pretty amazing. And that game's going to be popcorn worthy. All right, let's jump to another game we wanted to highlight. This was the Notre Dame versus Ole Miss game. So number 13, Ole Miss, they did end up beating number 19, Notre Dame 69-62. This was rough. Notre Dame started off really well. First quarter, we were up 26-14. Hannah was Hannahing. She was doing her thing, picking steals, just being overall aggressive and kind of a nuisance, right? But then I just feel we don't have enough size inside, and we don't have those players we could rotate through, because Notre Dame got outscored the next 3 quarters to Ole Miss. And they went to their zone at times, and Sid, this is the same zone that we are trying to implement on our AAU team, which is why it's so effective, because it's not your old school standard 2-3 zone, right? The wings are a lot more aggressive, getting out, bumping back. So that was actually pretty successful for Notre Dame for a while to keep them in the fight. But again, it was just, we didn't really have any other scoring threats besides Hannah, who finished the game with 28 points. Sanchez put up 9, and then Cowles off the bench, that's our main go-to body post player, had 12 before she fouled out in the 4th. I do want to super highlight, Ole Miss, Coach Yo, what they do. Again, this was at Ole Miss, a lot of high energy there. This game towards the end kind of went a bit back and forth. It got close. Ole Miss was able to pull off all the upsets. Why, Sid? Because Cody McMahon ran point guard.
Insane.
Can we talk about this? This girl is so versatile. And she turned it over once, but then she also, crossover between the legs, took it one dribble to the rack and got an and one. So this girl is the real deal. You can tell. And after the post-game interview, Coach Cody McMahon said, Coach Yo believes in me. She trusts in me. We practiced it a couple times, but I think it's something that's going to be something we lean on more. And I just want to highlight the fact she had 22 points, and her counterpart, Christine Owala, had 18 points, 13 rebounds. Now, I don't think this is the player that gets enough credit. She was really the glue for them inside, and that consistency that just made, put Notre Dame to shame, honestly. They out-rebounded ND 42-27, and they did it all with Ole Miss having 9 brand new players to the team. 9.
That's crazy. Oh.
Remember, we were Coach Yo went to the transfer portal. She got some good ones. We know she did. Oh, did she? And I'm not going to knock Notre Dame for the fact that they were in it. They were competitive. They tried to bring that defensive intensity. But I just think inside is where we're going to continue to struggle if we don't have that presence, that body, or just that overall plan to keep them out all the time. For a while, Notre Dame was the number 1 steals. They had the number 1 amount of steals in the nation at 183 this last week, 18 and some per game. Pretty crazy. So that's definitely part of their defensive presence that they want to do, is put that pressure on the guards up front so that it doesn't even get a chance to get inside. And it works for the most part. But when you have dominant bigs, I think that's where it's going to be a struggle. But shout out to Ole Miss. I just thought they played a great game.
I'm excited to watch them play. I think they're obviously in the SEC, so this is a wild horse that could upset maybe a Texas or a South Carolina or an LSU this year. So I kind of hope they do. It makes it entertaining, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fun to see Cody running point guard. Oh, insane. Man.
Yeah, and she was confident as all heck. It was wild.
What an athlete. She's good.
She is good.
Okay, let's jump into the next one here. So number 5, LSU beat Duke 93-77. This game was a little bit crazy to start off. I want to start with how this one started. Duke started the game up 14-1. Wow, LSU looked shell-shocked. They were not ready to go. You can tell they had not really played anyone yet. And not that Duke's turned out to be a really good team here, but they just looked like they were, rolled off the bench, didn't warm up, and checked up and just played. It was kind of wild, but really they bounced back after that. The second quarter, LSU absolutely just took it over and really never looked back. But interesting to see that they just kind of were really lethargic to start. And that happens sometimes, especially on the road, but it was pretty noticeable. I want to shout out LSU though, right? They came into this game, they had won all their games, 8 straight games scoring 100+ points. Again, crazy. They hadn't really played anyone. It is crazy, right? That's a lot of points. 6 players in double figures this game. And Duke is known to be more of that defensive team, right? But I think the offensive weapons that Kim Mulkey has, man, LSU is good, no doubt. And Kim Mulkey, We talk about the way she schedules her seasons every year. She's won national championships doing this, right? Like where she doesn't schedule crazy tough non-conference games. And Duke honestly is the better of the teams that they're going to play before SEC play. But I just thought that LSU really got it going. And again, Duke just not hanging. So now Duke has lost 4 straight games. The past 3 games were against number 3 South Carolina, number 4 UCLA, and now LSU, number 5 LSU. All of those games they've lost by at least 16 points. So proving here early on in the season that they're just not the same caliber as some of these top 5 teams, and really made it kind of a meh game. Really, like after the first quarter, it was just kind of like one of those so-so games to watch because LSU really was dominating. And I think that's the summary in this one.
Yeah. Did you hear about Kim Mulkey's press conference comments?
No, I would love to hear it. I did not.
So she had mentioned that Flage lost a lot of confidence this summer playing with USA Basketball and Kara.
Oh.
So obviously Kara being the Duke head coach for those that are keeping up. And that's why during the game, like there was like so much jawing back and forth. Every time Flage hit a bucket, she'd go down and like put her chest up and bark up at the team because there was just like some overall animosity towards what USA Basketball and her experience was, right? Every coach has a different style. Kim Mulkey is a player's coach. You can tell she's on the sidelines damn near fighting the referees for her team, right? So she's wild and crazy too. So I just think the different style probably was a shell shock. And that's what USA Basketball, I've never had the privilege. I know you did. But to be able to play and be at that level, it's a different standard, I would assume, right? You're representing the country at that point. So you can only imagine what more or less might have happened. But that was what Kim Mulkey said in her post game. It just kind of tweaked my eye. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes us women love the drama, don't we?
You just like to hear, what's going on over there. Oh. But I mean, imagine that, like you're Flage and she's a very finesse out there, loud. I mean, she's a rapper, right? So she's going to speak her mind in different ways. And we already know she puts the work in, right? Getting in the gym at 5 a.m., all that type of thing. So, and this is another thing, Kim Mulkey said that this game had been circled on the calendar for her for like ever. Because she was just looking forward to it so much. And so, yeah, it was nice of them to get the win. And whatever happens after that and that situation, probably nothing. But it was just an interesting point to add.
That is interesting. And I don't know. USA ball is tough because it's the best players are all brought into one training facility. And now you have to play for a brand new coach. And to your point, different expectations at that level. And I'm sure a very disciplined approach, I could imagine, from Kara Lawson was expected. And maybe it doesn't fit the culture and the way a lot of players approach the game nowadays. I don't know. I could see there being a little clash there potentially.
Yeah, definitely sounds like something was.
Yeah, interesting. I hope maybe they play each other again, and who knows? That'll be fun.
For sure. All right, let's jump to our second quarter after we got all the games out of the way. That was a lot, but they were amazing. Our second quarter, we're going to talk about just some quick NCAA women's basketball top scorers as we're heading into December. It's still so early, but we want to give some kudos to the current list. Number 1 is Audie Crooks from Iowa State with 27.3 points a game. Sid, at the end of last week, kind of right before we recorded this, our girl Audie went off and broke her own school record, dropping 47 points in 33 minutes. This girl shot this. When you want to talk about efficiency, she shot 19 of 25 from the field in their win over Indiana when they end up winning 106-95. Audie's points in Iowa's State's games this season, tell me if you see a theme here, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 27, 29, and then we're just going to jump up to 43 and 47. And she's only playing 33 minutes a game when she got that 47 points.
And against decent Indiana team. It's a Big Ten D1 really good program right now. It's not like they're playing a smaller team there, right? Like, wow, 47 points, 33 minutes. I'm looking forward, and we're going to highlight the upcoming games, but on Wednesday they play Iowa. I just think
that'll be a good one.
All-out battle, as it usually is, right? That's such a good rivalry, but like, how do you stop her?
I have no idea. Like, she just has so much power. Like, I go back to you have to just clear her out, but I don't know if you can because she's so strong. And she just holds her positioning and calls for it, and they just lob it into her. I guess we should be also, let's for sure start looking at the assists that go to her, because those girls have to be racking them up. Like, that's insane. Let's jump to our number 2, Hannah Hidalgo from Notre Dame. Obviously, she's coming in number 2 at 27 points. Liv McGill from Florida at 26.3 points. I think Florida's a team I'm interested to see a couple more, or see some games of. I haven't caught a Florida game. Definitely interested to see Liv and just Florida in general. Number 4 is Mikayla Blakes from Vandy, averaging 25.4 points. I think we have some more coming up about her here shortly. And then number 5 is Mia Castro from Western Illinois with 25 points. So those are our top 5 scorers for women's basketball heading into December. Now, curveball, I just wanted to add something news and noteworthy. Ball State women's basketball, they set a single game program rebound record. Most rebounds since March of 1976. So, Sid, I'm going to ask you, what do you think is the Ball State women's rebound record amount, the number of rebounds that they just had in a game?
And this would have beat the 1976 record?
Yes. Yes.
And this is offense, defense, total rebounds.
Yeah, total rebounds.
All right, I'm going to go with 62.
Why are you so close? You're close.
What was it?
69 rebounds.
Oh,
69 rebounds
insane.
in one game. So they played Oakland City. They ended up winning a lot to a little, but shout out to Ball State and the fact that they got 69 rebounds in one game. Pretty crazy.
That is, definitely news and noteworthy for sure. Good shout out there.
Last little thing. Instead of mentioning that players per each team almost had double figures, there is 5 players that almost had double figures in scoring. There was one with 11, one with 9, 9, and 7. Those were their top rebounders. So they were sharing the love and everybody was collecting boards.
Okay, Ball State. Let's jump to our third quarter. And I think it's going to be a quick one, but we definitely wanted to give it a full quarter here because it's a really cool record and thing that Mikayla Blakes did from Vanderbilt. So she made history by scoring 28 points in the game against Virginia. She led Vanderbilt to a 81-68 victory, and she reached the 1,000-point plateau in her career. Now, why this is super noteworthy, it makes her the 9th player in NCAA history to score 1,000 points in 42 career games. That's amazing. And we highlighted her a ton as a freshman last year, right? She really was the glue and the scoring power behind Vanderbilt last year. But Blake's performance, and I agree with this, I'm reading this from the ESPN article, was a testament to her skill and determination as she led the Commodores to a decisive win in the SEC ACC challenge during that game against Virginia. But really, that's what she brings all the time. She's a phenomenal player to watch. I think she adds a little bit more flair to an already great SEC conference, and Vanderbilt can hang with some of those teams because they have players like Mikayla Blakes. Makes it a little bit more well-rounded in the SEC, which I think is a lot of fun. And you mentioned Liv at Florida, right? So another player who can throw up a lot of points. Her quick ascent to the 1,000-point milestone is a significant milestone in her career and really a proud moment for Vanderbilt. Really, Vanderbilt athletics are on the scene right now. Their football program is doing better than they've ever done. Certainly the women's basketball program is doing really well right now. So shout out to Mikayla Blakes for absolutely crushing buckets and scoring a lot of points day in and day out. Vandy is now 9-0 and plays tonight against South Florida at 7:30. That game's on the SEC network. Shout out Mikayla Blakes.
Very cool record. And she's in a elite company. Latson got this award or reached her 1,000 point in 2022 in 48 games. And then Juju, I know we highlighted this last year, got it in 38. So for her to get it in 42 and kind of be an elite company there, that girl's a scorer.
For sure. Really cool to see that. And we're going to jump right into our fourth quarter. upcoming matchups. Love doing this section because it's just what we have to look forward to this week. On Wednesday, the 10th at 7 p.m., Iowa State is playing Iowa. Iowa State ranked number 10 at the time of this recording, and Iowa ranked number 12 at the time of this recording. I think this game is going to be an all-out battle. I already mentioned it. I'm like so excited to watch how these two teams match up with each other, how Iowa tries to stop Audie Crooks. But then on the Iowa side, they've got some scoring power, and they have for the past few years. Obviously, Caitlin Clark has moved on, but they are some good girls at Iowa, and I think this could be an upset. I really do, because of the rivalry and because both teams are just going to give full-on effort, and you never really know how these rivalry games are going to go. I'm calling the upset. Where are you at, Beck?
You know, I'm going to go with Iowa on this one. They got, Hannah Stuelke inside and the other post player, Hayden, who's making a name for herself. So I think both the versatility of Hannah and maybe the power of Hayden can help slow down Crooks a bit. But, I'm a fan of Audie. But I am going to go with Iowa for the win.
Yep, same here. I think Stuelke is that key for them. If she can score some buckets and bring her game, she's another one that on the flip side, Iowa State has to try to stop. So that's going to be a good one there. The next game, Saturday, December 13th at 4 p.m., number 9 Oklahoma plays number 24 Oklahoma State. So another good in-state rivalry game there. That game's on ESPNU. Sticking with Saturday, the 13th at 5:30. This is, I think, a really good game to tune into. It's on Fox. Number 1 UConn is playing number 16 USC. So we'll see how USC can try to contend with number 1 UConn. UConn's so stacked. But I think if we talk about Jazzy and some of those USC players, again, they have athletes that could slow UConn down, and you never know. I'm taking UConn in this one, but I'm interested to see if USC can try to hang. Not an easy thing to do, but they could try. What do you think?
Oh, UConn all the way. Too many firepowers there for sure.
For sure. And then Sunday, 2 games to highlight. Number 2, Texas is going to play number 14 Baylor. That game is on ABC. And then North Carolina, number 11 at the time we recorded this, is playing number 22 Louisville. So a couple games on Sunday that are worth watching as well.
Yeah, Texas should handle Baylor pretty well, I think. But I think that Louisville, North Carolina game could be really good, especially if Louisville plays the way that they did just this last week. I think that if they can make that upset at an 11 at the time, right? Like that could be pretty good for them.
It really could. Okay, so before we conclude, Beck, I have a quick question. It's a 2-part question. Oh. I'm kind of curious where your head's at right now. We're a couple weeks. We're well into December at this point. Getting ready to start conference play coming up here. Like we're well into season. First part of the question is, in your opinion, who is the best team in the country right now?
Texas. And I know that goes against the script. I understand. I know. UConn's good. I just think they haven't been tested as much as Texas has. And for them to get win after win, and the fact that they're only going to get better, that's who I'm going to roll with.
I think it's solid. I'm 50-50 on Texas and UConn. I think, to your point, Texas is well tested. They are well rounded, but so is UConn, right? Mm-hmm, they're coming off that national championship. They have the veterans. Sarah Strong is so strong. It's tough. I look forward to that matchup because I think that game, if it happens this year, would just be a phenomenal women's basketball game. Okay, second part of the question. Who will be the strongest team in the end? So you got to think through conference play, coaches, and how they develop teams and players. Do you think Texas can maintain this right now? Or is there somebody that you're thinking they could develop a lot and actually make a splash come tournament time?
It's short and sweet. I'm going to say Texas. I think Vic Schaefer is proving himself game after game. His team is bought in. I think they felt a bit robbed in how they played and finished the season last year. They got some salt, and they just have the right players and pieces this year to really tie a bow and bring it all together. And again, it's not going to be easy. UConn is right there as well. And Gino always gets his teams better, always. But I'm just going to roll and go outside the realm and the norm. And I'm going to say, God bless Texas.
You heard it here on 28.5 Women's Basketball. If you want to place your bet now, Texas is winning this thing.
Who do you have?
Oh man, a lot can happen. This is a tough one for me. Honestly, I think UConn's going to win it again this year, but it's tough. I think the biggest wild card is injuries.
Yeah.
I think that makes a huge difference over the course of this long season. If Texas can stay healthy, I think they're the best team. But they lose one player, I think UConn rebounds a little bit if they lose a player. I don't know. They've got a lot of really good athletes and recruits, so it's an interesting one. But we're going to keep watching. I want to get your gut check again, probably in another month or so when we get to the middle of conference play and we really see a lot. I think that'll be kind of fun to just keep a pulse on who we think is going to win this thing. But if you're a betting woman or a betting man out there, maybe you want to put a little money on Texas.
I'm not a betting woman, so that's hilarious. But we'll go with it for now.
All right. Okay. So we're going to wrap up. Really appreciate, as always, everyone listening. Please follow us on social media. And I'm going to turn it over to you back for some closing comments.
Yep. I thought today's episode was great. Tons of good basketball out there. Log in, tune in, make sure you're watching it. Send us any questions you guys have. We had a lot of listeners kind of chime in last year as well, and maybe we'll get some huddles back on the calendar and rolling. Appreciate it, everybody. And thanks, Sid. I'll see you later.
All right. See you soon, Beck.
That's the 28.5 final buzzer for today's episode. Don't forget to hit follow and download on your preferred podcast platform to catch every play-by-play. New episodes drop each week throughout the season.
If you've enjoyed our courtside chat, drop us a review or follow us on our social media accounts where you can send us questions that may be selected for our Team Huddle Q&A episodes. And remember, from females who have played the game, the size of the ball matters.